Does everybody know what time it is?
Home Impodcast time!
That's right, Binford Tools is proud to present a Home Improvement Podcast. My name is Adam, you'll know my co-host Jordan. How you doing, Jordan?
Hey Adam, how's it going?
Jordan, life is busy right now.
It's a whirlwind for you.
It's a whirlwind, but lots of things are happening. I'm sitting next to a cat who's sitting on top of a hammer, who's sitting on top of two boxes, and that will make sense in just a minute. But
the good news is that you can take time out of your busy life to talk a little bit home improvement with me.
Yeah,
right?
It's got to be priority, especially with such nice iTunes reviews coming in. It definitely makes me.
I thought we'd get to that later.
Carve out time. Yeah, we'll talk about it later for sure. Jordan, I'm going to present you with a bunch of information that is related to my life.
Information overload?
I hope not, but we'll find out. Hopefully you don't short circuit. And I'm just going to let you ask any questions that you have.
I love asking questions.
All right, so I'm just going to lay it all out there. Don't interrupt me, as you're wont to do. And then when you're done, you can ask any questions, okay?
All right. Will you just tell me when I can ask questions?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I was going to do that anyway, so.
All right, good.
All right. So tomorrow, we are moving to Milwaukee. That's the first thing. I recently saw A Star is Born, First Man, and the new Halloween movie. That's other information. And I recently went on a little vacation to New Orleans. So, Jordan, what questions do you have for me?
Favorite movie out of the three that you saw?
I would say favorite, probably the new Halloween, even though I think A Star is Born is better, if that makes sense.
Do you think A Star is Born is going to win the Oscar for Best Picture? It's getting some buzz, some early buzz.
I don't know if it will win Best Picture, but I think he will either win Best Actor or Best Director.
Okay, yeah. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Gaga's performance?
Good enough.
Good enough.
I mean, I don't know. I know some people are she's good. She doesn't hinder the film. I guess she's solid, but I think he is infinitely better. But that's because he's an actor and she's. I would argue not, but
final question about A Star is Born. Do you think I should go see it?
I do. Yeah, I think so. I think it's quite good. My mom is about to see it right now. It's a solid recommend for most people. I think if you
is she gonna live tweet it?
She is on Twitter, which I'm reminded every couple of months when she likes one of my tweets, and I'm like, what?
She got the little egg in her profile picture.
She's just like your mom.
Yeah, so
classic.
Mom's
on Twitter.
All right, I got more questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
What were you doing in New Orleans?
Just took a trip. Didn't know it was going to coincide so quickly with the move, but we went down there for 5 days, and it was awesome. You should make the trek over sometime.
Yeah, it's not too far from us.
It wouldn't be too bad. No, it's great food. Yeah, just really sweet place.
Did you go any haunted? You talked about going on.
Yeah, we did a haunted ghost tour. It's really cool. A lot of history there. Stood in a spot where 600 dead bodies had supposedly been laid out. So that's always fun.
Kind of kick that one off your bucket list.
Yeah, for sure. That was always the goal, was to stand somewhere where 600 dead bodies had been. So all
right, I've had enough of New Orleans. Let's talk about Milwaukee.
Sure, man.
Are you getting Giannis fever?
I mean, we the place we're living in is I think 0.7 miles away from I guess it's BMO, Bradley Harris Center, wherever the Bucks play. So I foresee myself, attending some games to be sure.
Oh man, it's gonna be fun.
I know. I will maybe start to pay more attention to the NBA again now that I.
Yeah, it just started up, and I've been engrossed in it. But this isn't about me. It's about you.
This is actually decidedly about me.
All right. You've got almost everything packed up. You're ready to go tomorrow.
I would not say that. Oh, no. Working on it.
Oh no. The new apartment, did you guys go look at it ahead of time, or is it just look at pictures online?
No, we've been there twice. We first saw it maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then we moved some stuff up yesterday. So
okay. So you gotta load over there.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's the top part of a house, and it's 2 bedrooms. So hypothetically, you could come visit if we didn't have cats, but some people will be able to come visit and stay.
You said it's in a house, so like the bottom part is owned by another house or another tenant, I guess.
Yeah. Nobody's in there right now, but probably.
So it's an older. It sounds like an older home, right?
Built in 1900, Jordan.
You know, the one time that I went to Milwaukee, we stayed in an Airbnb in a place like that. And it was just a beautiful old place like that. Just a lot of character. So I imagine that's what your place is like, and it sounds fabulous.
Oh, it's going to be great. My one regret is, I'm not going to be around next year to see the Karn man when he comes for the charity. I may have to drive down.
Yeah, I mean, you said you might commute a little bit for work, so you might as well commute for that.
I mean, definitely, yeah. I think that's atop my list. Other kind of tangentially related news is we're selling off some furniture for the move.
Anybody come over to St. Charles?
On Let Go, the app, and I sold a middle school girl the desk that I did much of my recording on.
Oh.
And as I accepted her $15, a small tear trickled out of the corner of my eye, and I said, "History's been made on this desk."
Yeah, you told her all the shows that you recorded.
I said obviously you listen to Home Impodcast, right?
She said, "Get away from me, weirdo."
She said, "How old are you?"
Did you have to part with anything that you're sad about?
No.
Besides the desk?
No, nothing. No, nothing yet.
No, that's good.
Moving does force you to really evaluate like what you need and what is important.
Would you call yourself a minimalist?
I mean, it doesn't feel like it with all these boxes around. I'm more of a minimalist than I was a week ago. But
that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. We're getting you towards that path. That's a lot going on.
Jordan,
I'm surprised you found time to see all those movies.
Yeah, it is interesting, but I did. I think you just work all day, and at night, it's good to have some respite. So I've been looking forward to the Halloween movie for like a year, and I saw it last night.
I've seen lots of commercials.
Very
for it.
Excited, and it was it lived up to the hype. So,
do you have to redo your list now?
I haven't done a Halloween list yet, so.
That's right. It was Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But
a novice like me would get those.
Yeah, I mean, like you're such a. You don't. Do you even read Fangoria magazine? I mean, really? Do you Fango?
I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
There you go. But no, Jordan.
Speaking a different language.
Jordan, you have a daughter. How's she doing these days?
She's good. She's been precious the last couple of days. Yesterday, I had like crazy seasonal allergies, and.
Did she call you a baby and tell you to get past it?
She's patient.
Okay.
I don't know where she gets it from. She was very kind and generous with me.
This must be a direct opposition to what you're used to with me.
Yeah, it's a little alarming. So, she's been good. Continues to get bigger. We've got several people have sent very generous Halloween outfits for her. So she's gonna be looking like a pumpkin one day. She's gonna be in like a cat costume, which I'm sure you'll love to see pictures of.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Did you get my Freddy Krueger costume I sent for her?
I think it's in the mail.
Okay, cool.
We got some from the post office, so I haven't opened it yet.
Awesome.
This weekend, I think we're gonna go to a pumpkin patch. So I don't want to get on a fall tangent because I know how that is for you.
Yeah,
but down here, as you can imagine, there's not a lot of the kind of orchard stuff that you're used to up north.
There wouldn't be, yeah.
But there is one in Claremont, which is not too terribly far from us. That seems.
Oh, Claremont, of course, yeah.
Yeah, it's got. The website says they've got like fresh made donuts. They've got organic maple syrup. They've got hay rides. I mean, the list goes on and on. So we're excited to try that out. So
as well, you should be. Well, Jordan, we're not here to talk about movies, my move, or trips that I've been on, or your daughter, or fall. This is a home improvement podcast.
It's funny that we're not here to talk about that stuff, but we often talk about that stuff.
Those are some of my favorite things to talk about.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about The Look.
Let's talk about it, yeah.
All right, episode 107, The Look. This one was written by Marley Sims and Elliot Schoenman. I never know. But,
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Exactly. The duo, that they've done a few episodes together. The last one they did was Jill's Surprise Party.
Yep.
One of your favorites, where Jill is not happy.
That one wasn't so hot, was it?
Well, I mean, you got to see that guy that you love so much. What was his name? Henry? Cousin Henry?
Cousin Henry, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a good moment. Aired on November 7th, 1995. Getting close to my birthday, which is good.
Dangerously close.
Dangerous. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Alternative title time. This is
You know, it should have been easy, but it wasn't for me.
It was the hardest one that I've had in seasons,
Okay.
I would say.
That comforts me. I have 4.
Okay, I've got 3. They're really bad, so I just want to say that again.
Okay, yeah. I'll start. So the episode's titled The Look. My first one is No Look, I'll pass.
Oh!
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
That's better. How about contact sports?
Yeah, that isn't so hot, is it?
No, just wait for the other 2.
Next one, Taking the Charge.
All right. I got a basketball one. Detroit Compromise.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I like that.
Is it?
Mason. Wait, Mason in the house?
Yeah.
Next one, Season Stick It.
Season stick it.
Season tickets. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, if you're not, did you know that this episode is centered around season tickets? Or have you?
Is that?
They only say it.
I thought they were just holding up like a magazine, and you just kept flipping through it, and I didn't understand why everyone was so mad. My last one. Look who's compromising too.
You did have a tough week, didn't you? Last one for me. NBA hole.
Hey, that's pretty good.
I mean, I thought mine were bad, and then I heard yours.
Yeah, considering, I think you did pretty well. So, good job. Let's go to the walkthrough.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's run through it. Open on tool time. We're doing some more unsung heroes of the job site. While Heidi is being fawned over, she's not really paying attention, so Tim has to get her attention. This week, they're going to talk about food trucks, but I guess
they call it lunch wagons.
I was going to say, the term food truck obviously was not popular yet, because I've never heard anyone refer to it as a lunch wagon or what did it say? Food... There was another name, but it was not food truck. But yeah, it's a food truck. Mm-hmm. The guy, his name is Nick. He runs this. He's got a nice accent. There's a couple times in this episode where people say they get no respect.
Yeah, it's like we're just like, when's Rodney coming?
Yeah, I figured that he's going to be in this truck, but he's not.
He's just smoking a joint inside the truck. Hey, what?
He's the cook, not Rosie. Look at me flip these.
Hey, I'll go back to school. We do great Dangerfields.
We do.
Yeah.
They go inside the truck, which is what we all want, and Rosie the cook is a special short order cook, I guess, is what she does. Rosie doesn't say anything, but she brings quite the presence to the screen. So Tim orders like pancakes and eggs and something, and they break it on the cook area or the stovetop and
grill. I think it's called
grill. Is that what it is? Griddle. They obviously cut part of this.
It's weird. It's very awkward. Transitioning between like what is happening on the skillet grill towards like Al's responses. They just kind of, it seems strange to me. I don't know if you
it was way. There was like a lot of dead
choppy,
air.
I guess would be the word.
Choppy, and then you look away for a second and all of a sudden the eggs are done,
right,
and all this kind of stuff. So I mean, they're obviously condensing it a little bit, but you know what, Tim thinks he can do it better, as he often does. Apparently he did this in college for 8.5 years.
The old Belushi college joke. Yeah,
it works every time. So he starts, going at it, and
I found this to be really disgusting. Actually, like he's just like throwing everything together, and there's like shells and eggs, and it kind of
pretty gross.
Made me kind of sick to my stomach.
You know what makes it even more sick?
What's that?
I don't know if you noticed the camera work while this is happening. It's like they take a handheld and they're like shaking it all around.
Yeah.
It makes it a little bit worse to me. So,
well, the director of this is kind of an auteur. He's known for his shaky cam food shots.
Tim wastes a bunch of food, makes a giant mess. Nick also
he's covered, man.
He's covered, and we should say that he prides himself on a clean kitchen. So,
I was just struck in this scene by
an egg.
I wasn't in there. I wasn't in the truck. No, it just was funny to hear like the lunch wagon not getting a lot of respect or kind of being looked down upon. It's like, well, wait another 25 years and there will be lines around the block to eat at your overpriced, okay tasting food truck.
I was just thinking, like, wouldn't they be kind of happy about that? Because a lot of, like, if you don't have hot food from this griddle and stuff, you're gonna have like a cold sandwich.
Yeah, I don't know who's disrespecting the lunch wagon in 1995. Like, I don't know, food looked pretty good, and I would say they are making it too fast. Like, take your time as you make my eggs and sausage. But
I've got 5 minutes to spare.
Yeah, I mean, I take an hour lunch.
Yeah, I don't see why not. All right, so
Let me do a bio on Nick before we move on.
yeah, because Nick is very important in this episode.
He pops up more than you think he would. Nick is, his real name is pretty much exactly what you would think it would be. It's Vincent Gustafaro.
Ah.
I give you 10 guesses. You're coming up with that, aren't you?
Definitely Gustafaro.
All right. Best known for his work on NYPD Blue, Criminal Minds, something called State and Maine, and hey, Jordan, get this, Jason Lives, Friday the 13th, Part 6. Where he plays Deputy Rick Cologne. That sounds like an episode, like a name that Chris Pratt would use on Parks and Rec. Rick Cologne, deputy. But yeah, I mean, of course, everybody's on a Friday the 13th movie. Jason Lives is a pretty good one, so at least he's in one of the better ones.
Yeah, I mean, you would know.
Yeah, I mean, something like that.
Everyone's just waiting on your definitive Halloween,
Halloween
write-up,
rankings.
So, yeah.
I mean, I can do them right now if you want, but we've talked enough about non-home improvement stuff. So
all right, well, let's go backstage. All
right, next scene. After the show, Bud approaches Tim and Al. Bud still doesn't really like Al, and is pretty open about it, which is kind of strange. Al
he tries to pretend he's kidding, but I don't believe it.
I think he just doesn't like him. Al kind of runs away, and then Bud offers Tim season tickets for the Pistons, and he kind of makes it seem like he's going to give them for free.
It does,
and he he dresses it up like it's a really good deal.
He's a salesman.
He's got the opportunity to sit courtside, so he's selling his tickets to Tim, and he needs to know, like, right now, like, right away, because the VP of General Motors, who, by the way, he already has season tickets if he wants them, like,
for free, he would get them for free.
Yeah, he's like he's way higher in the hierarchy than Bud would be, but there's, he's interested in them as well, so Tim has to decide right away. And he decides to take them. Hilarity ensues.
Yeah, I was wondering, the thing that caught me most about this scene was
Sir Slam-A-Lot.
Sir Slam-A-Lot. Yeah, so
I'd never heard of that.
Well, I was wondering, was Hooper not around?
I looked it up. Did you?
I just looked it up. Okay. So he was born. I like how it Wikipedia says born. Close to your birthday.
In a stagecoach near Hamtramck.
Born March 24th, 1996. Wow. So, I mean, I was at first like, they can't say Hooper, but
that's what I thought too, trademark. But then I looked it up because Sir Slam-A-Lot sounds like so fake and made up. But yeah, did you see a picture of him?
No, I'm gonna look right now.
You better find a picture.
Can we talk?
It's real bad.
Can we talk more about Hooper?
He was only around 2 years, and they killed him off for Hooper.
Sir Slam-A-Lot. Oh boy, that's a good look.
How would you describe it? He's like
a knight, a basketball knight.
It's like Green. He's like Green Man, but he has like knight gear on. K-N-I-G-H-T.
Yeah, which is strange because I guess maybe it's supposed to be like a chassis, too. Maybe like a car chassis.
I thought they were just doing like a Sir thing, like he's
maybe.
I don't know. Yeah.
Can we talk more about Hooper?
My favorite thing about Hooper, and Hooper's been around since I was 6. Those eyes, he looks stoned out of his mind.
Well, he generally appears as a horse wearing a Pistons jersey. That's what it says generally. I'd like to know what he appears as otherwise.
When has he not done that?
What else is Hooper doing?
Have you ever seen Hooper like not at the Palace or at the now the Little Caesars Stadium, whatever? Have you ever seen him in street clothes? It's kind of weird. Like he dresses kind of goth.
Him and Mark would get along in a few seasons. Yeah, there's also more information that is ridiculous on this Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
He is the only son of Detroit radio broadcaster Mike Valenti. Valenti, sorry.
Jordan, that's blasphemy.
I know.
Valenti and Foster?
I'm sorry, I'm just confused at how this horse is a son of a Detroit broadcaster.
Do you think that's why that show isn't around anymore? Because there was a paternity suit and he found out Hooper's a son? In any case, Hooper is regarded as being one of the lesser mascots in the NBA, but
why?
I don't know. I've seen lists. I mean, it's not as bad as the Phoenix Suns gorilla, but
the gorilla is very popular.
Yeah, but it's just stupid. I don't know.
Down here, Puff the I think it's a dragon of sorts for the Magic.
Yeah,
he's pretty popular. People like him.
Yeah, but
is his name Puff? I can't be right. I don't remember.
I don't follow Orlando Magic.
It might be
mascots.
Stuff. It might be Stuff or something like that.
They wouldn't do Puff. That's too overt. But,
Puff the Magic Dragon.
It was fun to learn about Sir Slam-A-Lot because I don't know. I feel like I was getting into the Pistons around like 97, 98, so I guess I must have just missed him.
Man, the person who wrote this Wikipedia article loves Hooper. Can I just read you one line?
Do you think it was the guy that was, dressed as Hooper?
I think it was Hooper, but there's a whole fictional background talking about how he was born in Lucky, Kentucky. He used to be a racehorse, but Hooper knew he was too talented to be relegated to horse racing, so he trained long and hard to master his craft and hone his skills.
I got news for whoever wrote this. Racehorses don't end up as mascots; they end up as glue.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Wow. Hooper can be seen in parades. The Hoopermobile.
Hoopermobile.
He rides on motorcycles and ATVs.
Yeah, I've seen him do that.
He may not be the best dancer on the planet, but he loves to try.
How many high fives have you gotten from Hooper in your life? I think I've got at least 3 or 4.
Probably only one.
Okay, well, you should. It feels pretty good when it happens.
Well, that's why I don't like Hooper as much as you. Hooper celebrates his birthday at a Pistons home game with Rory from the Detroit Lions, Paws from the Detroit Tigers, and many other fellow NBA mascots.
I don't care for Rory, but Paws is pretty cool.
Yeah, Paws is an institution.
I'm moving, but I've been in the Chicago area for a couple of years, and I gotta say, Benny the Bull's a lot better.
Than Hooper?
Yeah. Just more swag.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of angry. Hooper looks like, just a nice guy. What are your thoughts on Banjo, the Bucks mascot?
Ask me in 9 months. It sounds cool.
He's a pretty good-looking deer.
Banjo the Bucks. Well, all right, let's get back to the episode.
All right, I don't even know where we're at anymore.
Tim
buys the tickets.
Yeah.
All right, so at home, Brad and Randy are playing catch. I don't know why they're in, khaki pants and sweatshirts. I feel like if you're outside playing catch, you're probably in some more athletic gear.
Just a nice fall game of catch.
When the mood strikes you, you don't have time to change. So
the mood strikes you. Yes, indeed.
Tim comes home. He starts to show off his tickets, and Randy and Brad are very interested. They're excited. But then Tim informs that he didn't tell Jill, and then Randy says, I knew it couldn't be, or it was too good to be true, or something like that.
Yeah.
Brad makes a comment saying, I can't believe Mom let you buy the tickets, and that is really going to be the sentence that launches Tim into a tizzy for the rest of the episode.
One thing to note now, and we'll track this as it goes, but in this episode, in this world, everyone is a tremendous Pistons fan and loves the NBA. Everybody wants these tickets.
They all should be my best friends.
Yeah, I mean, it's bizarre. Even Dolores is I gotta see the Knicks.
She's from New York,
I gotta see Patrick Ewing come to town. I mean, it's just funny to they act as if it's the hottest ticket in town. It's
they barely made the playoffs that year.
Yeah, I looked up this season, the 95 season. They went 46 and 36. They were fine.
It would be fun to go see Shaq and Penny and then Michael Jordan. Obviously, this is the season that the Bulls went 72 and 10. So
yeah.
There'd be some good stuff there, but as far as the Pistons, I mean, I guess you're excited because Grant Hill is kind of
second year. Grant Hill,
he's doing some crazy things.
You got Lindsey Hunter, Joe Dumars near
Allen Houston, baby.
Yeah, but it's just funny. They're man, there people are salivating for these tickets, and I was alive around this time, and I don't remember it being this way.
You weren't buying those season tickets?
My dad had season tickets, probably 97, 98, not for 42 games, but for I don't know, probably 10 to 15. We went a handful of times. Season tickets are hard because unless you're really close, you just kind of get sick of the drive.
I was just going to say,
it's a pain to get there.
I mean,
if it's right across the street.
And that was when it was in Auburn Hills. Now that it's in Detroit, there's no way.
Auburn Hills is kind of a hop, skip, and a jump from Davison, but it's still inconvenient.
Especially in those crazy winter days. All right.
Tell you what.
So Tim says we don't need to talk over every financial decision. I was thinking to myself that Patricia Richardson probably would have liked this episode too.
I know, it is kind of Howard's end-ish.
Yeah, I would say. Jill comes in at this time, and you can overhear her talking with Mark. Mark wants contacts, but Jill says we couldn't. We have to check with Dad first.
Why'd we go through the glasses episode if he's just going to get contacts?
Well, he doesn't have them yet.
Yeah. Well, I just thought that the twirl was really unnecessary because he's going to end up getting contacts regardless.
Well, I think we all liked that twirl, so
yeah,
it was worth it. It was worth it for that.
That twirl though.
All right, so Jill says, that's how our marriage works. Tim's like, well, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if you had to make a split-second decision and you spent some money and you didn't tell your spouse or whatever. Mm-hmm. Jill knows what's up, sends the boys off, and finds out that Tim spent $4,000, and Jill goes off, I would say rightfully so. Tim is like trying to convince her and says something like, "You write out the bad years waiting for the good one," because she gets even more mad when he says they're not that good and they might not make the playoffs.
Yeah, and then he also says like how he thinks it's crazy that like everybody in this episode's like, and if they make the playoffs, you got to pay for more tickets. It's like, yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
That's how season tickets work. Man.
And there's less games and better teams. Why wouldn't they be more expensive? Anyway,
I don't know if you wanted me to do this, but I did it anyways. Inflation rate $4,000 now is $6,433.
I did want you to do that, so thank you. Yeah, it's a pretty penny.
It's a big chunk of change. And I don't know how much Tim makes in a year. This isn't last man standing, so he's not, living in a brownstone.
If it was last man standing, he would have laughed at Bud and said, "I already have my courtside seats."
He's like, "I'm sitting next to the VP of General Motors."
I am the VP of General Motors.
I am the VP of General Motors. Look at me, I am the captain now. Yep.
Yeah. Jill makes a comment after saying waiting out the bad years and says, like our marriage, you wait out the bad years for a good one, and she's still waiting for one. So burn, baby, burn. Tim tries to turn this around on her. You think he would know better by now that every time he does this, it doesn't work out well, but he says, "You do this kind of stuff all the time. For example, this couch."
Yeah.
And she's like, "I bought that because we needed something to sit on. This is a completely luxurious type of purchase, so it's a little different." Tim says, "Don't worry, we'll take our money from our New York vacation," which is kind of a bummer because I'd like to see Tim and the family in New York.
Yeah, Taylor's in New York would be a good episode. I don't think
Taylor's
we're going to get
Manhattan.
That. Taylor's Take Manhattan, or Taylor's in Tinseltown. That would have been fun as well. But he's sort of a bastard in this one.
Yeah,
Tim.
and
that's a low blow.
It is, and here we get what the episode is named for. Tim gets the look.
The episode's namesake itself, the look.
Yeah.
Jordan, how would you describe it?
Well, it's stern. It's aggressive. It's haunting.
I call it a
scowl?
Scowl on steroids.
Yeah, that's pretty good. SOS, baby.
SOS. Yeah, a lot of looks. And she gives him one here, and he can feel it just penetrating the back of his skull.
Well, that's later on.
Well, he can presumably feel it penetrating the back of his skull right now.
But Tim knows he must make it right. Maybe by the end of the episode, we'll rank all the looks that we get, because there are quite a bit.
I'll let you. All right, next scene, hardware store. Harry arrives. He's taken his mother-in-law to get her bunions removed, which I know you know something about, Jordan.
Heck yeah.
Not
my bunions, right?
No. Tim's not there yet, so it's Harry, Benny, Al, and is there anybody else in there? Marty.
Can we just call them the gang? I feel like that's the gang from now on.
Would you say they are the boys?
Dem boys.
We Dem boys, they're all in there, and they know, because everybody in the freaking world knows, Tim got Piston tickets. Did you
Yeah, word travels fast.
Tim got Piston. And they say, like, well, we don't want it to go to his head, so...
I didn't realize carrier pigeons could fly that fast.
I'm going to let you sit in that one. All right. They say, like, we don't want it to go to his head. And then he comes in and immediately everybody's really nice to him. And, they're so excited. They're getting him coffee and giving him a donut, trying to suck up so as to get the hottest ticket in town. Ticket for a 5-seed team in the East.
7.
7, was it?
Yeah, they were 7. 5 in the Central Division.
Oh, okay. 46 and 36 now would get you probably a 5-seed.
Yeah,
or
something like that. Maybe a 4.
It's possible. Tim,
not in the West, of course.
Oh man,
let's not go there.
Although Jordan, I think the 8th seed in the West last year maybe only won like 38 or 39 games.
I'm gonna find out.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel as though I remember that.
That seems wrong.
Hey, look it up.
There was a tiebreaker basically. It was it came down to the last.
You look it up and I'll keep talking. Because I don't think people will care.
Nope.
So, Tim tells them that he's not sure he's going to keep the tickets, and they immediately stop being nice. They take the donut from him, they strip the coffee away.
They start getting real.
And, they stop being polite, and they start getting real. And this is kind of where, well, I guess before this, there's sort of an argument about who's going to get the first pick. Like, Marty says, I'm his brother, Harry says, I'm his hardware, Benny says... whatever Benny says, and then Al says, I should get the tickets first. He risks my life every day, and they agree that Al should get the first tickets. But Tim again says, I'm probably not going to keep him, and this is where the look comes into play. And they say it's the most potent weapon in a woman's arsenal.
Do you want me to? Do you want me to tell you how wrong you were about those stats earlier?
Yeah,
47 and 35
for the 8th seed in the West.
Yeah, buddy. There were a few years where it was like you had to get 50. It was crazy.
You just edit this out. I don't want people to hear me being wrong.
Sorry, the look.
The look. It's the most potent weapon in a woman's arsenal. Mother gives it to Al. They break it down. They talk about how if he keeps tickets, he's going to get 80 looks a season.
You don't want
he just doesn't know if the look is worth the tickets. But the other guys, they say, you got to stand your ground. Easy for them to say. If you give up, you give up this, what's next?
Yeah. Harry kind of implores him specifically, and as soon as he does, he says like, you can't be intimidated. Dolores comes in piping hot.
Is this the first time Dolores has been presented as his wife?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So Dolores, we've seen before. She worked at the diner that Tim and Bud were at, and Dolores comes in and she's steaming mad because Harry left her mother-in-law at the doctor. I don't know, foot doctor, whatever.
Yep, podiatrist.
Podiatrist. She had to walk all the way back, and he's pretty cavalier about it, and they kind of bicker back and forth, but then everything stops dead in its tracks, and she gives him the look.
This is hilarious.
It's funny.
This is really funny because, obviously they make a big thing of it. They zoom in on our face and everything. But
the cut to Al is stellar.
The cut to Al made me laugh really hard. And then this is the funniest thing Benny has ever done on the show.
You're right. Like, this is a better Benny episode where he's like, "Tell me where it is, and I'll drive her." Right?
Yeah, and he's just like he's horrified at this moment.
For sure.
Yeah, like you said, he's so horrified that he's gonna go pick up the mother-in-law. And then Al volunteers to help, and then Harry goes.
This goes on quite a while.
It's good.
It's good. It kind of lives up to the hype. I remember this episode. I think this is maybe one of the more well-known ones from this season, and it was funny. It worked for me. It's and she does it well. She's got her look is particularly menacing.
Yeah, I think she gives another look later on, and Jill also gives another one. I think both of their first looks are better, though.
Yeah, for sure. This scene ends with, or I don't know if it ends, but in this scene as well, somebody mentions that every time you get the look, a little piece dies. And Tim says, "Yeah, I know which one."
Oh, man. You just never know when that kind of humor is going to come out on the show, you know?
Yeah, I know. You probably had to cover your ears when you heard it.
I covered a
little Puritan.
Yeah, my daughter was watching the show with me, so I had to cover her eyes and ears.
Yeah, you better be careful, otherwise she's gonna start. Her first words are gonna be like Binford or something, and you're gonna be really disappointed.
It's gonna be a grunt.
Yeah, she probably already does that.
Yeah.
Home. This scene is absurd. I don't know what this is doing. Mark lost his contact, so Brad and Randy are helping him on the floor. Tim comes in and he's like, "What are we playing?"
I'm in.
They're like, Mark lost his contact. He's like, "I'm in. How do you play?" And they're like, "You find Mark's contact," and he's just like crawling around the floor. Mark obviously like breaks. You can see him laughing. Kind of a guffaw. But yeah, Tim is just like crawling around. It's it's really dumb.
He's just being a silly papa. That's all.
I think that's. I don't think it's presented like that.
I love it when you call me silly papa.
I think he thinks they really are playing a game, and it's pretty absurd. But eventually the game stops. Tim and Jill come in.
Time for ticket update.
Ticket talk. Season's ticket. She wants to compromise.
Oh man, you forgot to make the second joke about the little piece of man dying.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm not going to.
Great. Okay, awesome.
No, they asked for the boys asked for a ticket update, and he says he's not going to give them up because if you do, a piece of a man dies or something like that. And Mark says, "What piece?
Which piece?" And he says, "Don't worry about it."
That's right.
Jill comes in. She's willing to compromise on the ticket. She says, maybe I was too harsh yesterday.
Detroit compromise.
Indeed it is, yeah. She's willing to let Tim keep 5 of the tickets and sell the other ones. I mean, as far as compromises go, it's not great, but also Tim just spent $4,000 without telling her, so presumably I guess he's lucky to get anything out of it. I don't know how you felt about this.
If you can pick the games, pick the 5 games that you want, I don't
Bulls,
know.
Magic. Give me Houston
would be good. Seattle would possibly be okay. The Knicks would be good.
And give me Vancouver because they're not around anymore.
Just for good old nostalgic sake.
Yeah. Give me Bullets.
Oh, yeah.
He says Bullets in this episode, and I was
Does
like,
he?
huh. Yeah, it sounds like he says Bulls. He goes Washington, and I thought he said Washington Bulls, and I was like, what? And it was Bullets.
Come on, Tim. No.
Yeah, this is where we get... Tim he's stubborn in this one, and he gets a second look, and it's like a laser, and you want to know how you know it's like a laser? Because the graphics switch, and it zaps into the commercial break.
This is exactly like when Jill was in that dinosaur outfit, or not dinosaur, but a dragon outfit or whatever, and the fire blew out of her nose and stuff. So
dragons, dinosaurs, what's the
difference? They're putting it all together this season on the special effects.
Yeah. Somebody they hired a new guy, and he's coming in. He's killing the game.
Top notch, baby. Yeah, Tim. Did you say that Tim's not even? This is the time where he's not even looking. He can feel it.
Yeah, I did say that.
Okay, good. Yep. All right, so outside, Wilson is barbecuing some jerk, and we're gonna take a break and eat some of it.
Yep, sure are.
Hey, Wilson.
Well, hidey-ho, neighbor.
What are you doing?
I'm barbecuing some jerk.
Anybody I know?
Actually, jerk is a very spicy dish native to the island of Jamaica. You know, I'm thinking of going down there and doing a little bamboo rafting.
Well, you got it made. Unattached guy like you. You don't need permission to go to 40 Pistons games.
Oh. I take it Jill was not too thrilled with your recent purchase.
That's putting it mildly. First, she gave me the look.
The look?
You know about the look?
Oh, Tim, every man knows about the look. Wives have been giving their husbands the look for untold centuries. As a matter of fact, the look was the reason that brides started wearing veils. It was long believed that the penetrating stare of a bride could weaken her husband and render him impotent.
I thought that was caused by all the brown liquor at the reception.
Well, that could do it too, Tim.
I gotta be honest with you. Jill's look did weaken me. It did. But I didn't break. Then she brought out the sneakiest, most underhanded trick in the book.
What was that?
Compromise.
The old ploy where both sides decide to be reasonable.
Reasonable? 5 games out of 40, that's reasonable? I don't think that's
So what was your counteroffer?
I don't think that applies here.
Because you didn't make one.
No, I did not.
You know, Tim, I'm reminded of an old philosopher who once said, you have to give a little, take a little.
Let your poor heart break a little.
That's the story of love.
All right, Wilson, he's barbecuing some jerk.
Hey, Jordan, how'd that jerk taste?
Oh, it's so good. I don't like spice very much, but Wilson, he did just enough sweet for me.
He's a connoisseur of spices.
That's right. He says he's going to go to Jamaica and raft, but until he does that, he's getting in the mood. Tim says that Wilson has made it. He doesn't have to worry about, getting permission to go to games or whatever, Renaissance festivals or whatever he wants to go to.
Yeah, that's really it.
I was going to say, I don't know what else he's going to go to. And Wilson obviously has heard about the season tickets because everyone has.
Why wouldn't he, Yeah. News travels fast. It was on cover of the Free Press that day.
Yeah. Wilson has kind of a reverential feeling of the look. He's like,
Yeah. Yeah, it reminded me of like a kung fu movie or something. Yes, I've heard of this look you speak of.
He says it's been around for centuries. This is probably the first time that Wilson has blatantly lied about like what the look is and the history of the look.
He says that's why brides wear veils.
No.
That's like a purity thing. It has nothing to do with the look.
Yeah, apparently. Well, I guess it just ties in the joke that they've made earlier because the veils keep men from being impotent. Which doesn't make a lot of sense because if it's a wedding, wouldn't they be happy? I don't know. Maybe it's arranged. I've got a lot of questions that need answers.
Yeah, you're not getting them.
Nope. Tim withstood the look and she tried to compromise. He did not make a counteroffer, and Wilson says a little back and forth. That'll do it.
Yeah, Tim's not being reasonable, and Wilson kind of busts his chops.
That's right.
And he's not,
We'll someter 100%. 100 degrees.
100%. Oh, wow. 100% of degrees. Yes,
It's bursting through. We're going to Kelvin.
Degrees Kelvin. All right. Next scene. Tim has he's changed. We didn't see it, but it just kind of happened. Jill walks in. It's a shorthand change. Jill walks in, and man, it's a murderer's row. You got Dolores, Harry,
Benny.
Is it Benny? Benny? Who's
Nick.
the guy? Nick. Okay. Is Marty there or no?
Marty's there. Al's there.
So everybody's there. And he's like, are we to assume, is he selling the tickets or is he giving them? He's selling them, right?
Yeah, he's not stupid enough to do that. Because otherwise, why wouldn't you just keep them, right?
For sure. Yeah, you're right. So and everybody wants these tickets. Oh man, they're just really the hottest tickets.
I want to know who's getting the Raptors Pistons game. These poor guys.
Yeah, I know, that would have been great. And like he's just giving away. Jill walks in. Benny, there's a continuing gag where like everybody's like saying they want the tickets. Why is Nick there? I guess Nick is there because Tim spilled food on him.
He said he made him very mad, so this is his way of penance.
To let him buy tickets off of him?
Yes. He gives him like first pick, you know?
Okay, yeah. Benny is like, gag is like, I'll go with you, because apparently he doesn't have enough money because Benny's poor, doesn't have... Benny's homeless in Home Improvement, apparently.
I was thinking he was just kind of lonely.
Yeah. He wants to go with Nick. Nick says, I don't even know you.
Do we really know anyone is Benny's response?
Yeah, that was funny. Benny does have... This is probably the best Benny episode, you're right. Eventually, like, they talk about the playoffs again, and I don't know, the writers of this show, they can't wrap their head around why playoff tickets cost more. But Jill, seeing the sacrifice Tim has made, says that she would like to buy... is it tickets to the playoffs or just tickets to regular season games?
It's the playoff tickets.
Okay. Assuming they make it, which, who's to say
they did, and they lost in 3 games to the Magic.
That was not very many tickets she had to buy. But she offers to buy tickets to the playoffs. Tim, his heart is warmed. Jill loves her husband again, and everybody's very, very happy.
Except for Dolores and Harry.
In the final scene, there's more of the ticket drafting. Tim says he wants to go to the Knicks. Dolores says, hey, I'm from New York. It's like, couldn't you tell by my accent? The accents on Home Improvement are out of control.
Top notch.
And Tim's like, hey, I don't care. These are my tickets. And she gives him the look. And
he gives in very quickly.
He gives in. And it's roll credits fade to black. Detroit Compromise, a.k.a. The Look.
The Look. A nickel for your thoughts, Adam.
It's fine. Highs... I think the scene with the Look initially in the hardware store is quite good. Mm-hmm. I think Benny was funny throughout, as you said. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I guess it is a premise that probably is relatable to a lot of people. Lows, I don't know. The compromise at the end kind of they ran out of time. It felt like. All of a sudden he's talking to Wilson, and then he has this realization, and he does the ticket draft. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more happen at the end. The idea that everybody wants these tickets is just kind of absurd.
Yeah.
And how fast news travels about Tim's season tickets also. And the scene with Mark and the contact lens and the kids in general, they don't have a lot to do in this one.
Yeah.
But it's okay, I would say. Not particularly memorable for me. I guess I'll remember the Look. But the episode itself
burned into your brain.
It's fine. What about you?
I agree. I enjoyed it. It's not like the best episode ever. Pretty thin on like everything outside of the season ticket storyline. Like you said, the contact thing and whatever else is going on there is not very much to it. But the Look is memorable, like you said, and Benny is very funny, and that whole scene where Dolores is giving the look for the first time I enjoyed. So. A couple of laughs. That's all you can ask for out of Home Improvement, I think. I think we all learned something about compromise. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, Adam, have you ever gotten the Look?
I mean, probably. Yeah.
I guess I don't. I just don't. I can't imagine like a real one. I guess because they make it pretty.
I'm sure that you've gotten the Look. You just.
I blocked it out.
You probably didn't realize it, or your back was turned.
My head was turned, and I couldn't feel the lasers.
Yeah, you probably couldn't. But okay. I'm certain that I have. But I try hard not to.
That's good. All right, so we'll move on then, and we'll go to Sean's social media corner. So, if you'd like to reach out to us, you can go to thehomeimpodcast.com. You can go to facebook.com/homeimpodcast. On Twitter, we're at Home Impodcast. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so for free by just going to your favorite podcasting app, giving us 5 stars, writing a nice review. That would be great. You can also support us monetarily for as little as $1 a month over at patreon.com/Home Impodcast, where you will get special behind-the-scenes content like outtakes and show notes, and if you donate enough, you get access to a special bonus episode each month. So far, we've done For Richer or Poor and The Return of Last Man Standing. We don't know what's going to be next, but we can tell you it's going to be a good one. So go to patreon.com/Home Impodcast. Adam, this will be, I guess, the first time that we've gotten kind of some results and some feedback from our Patricia Richardson interview. Mm-hmm. So I'd love to hear what people have to say on Twitter. I'd love to hear other things that are going on socially.
Well, I wasn't quite prepared for that. People said a lot of nice things, and they were very excited to have her on the show. I think, some of the most downloaded stuff we've ever done. And yeah, the feedback, what is it? The @HI Reunion, the Home Improvement Twitter. They shared some clips from Howard's End, which she noted was an episode that she really liked and is somewhat related to the look, I would say. But Brett White said nice things.
We love Brett White.
He's one of the best guys I've ever met. At Green Rupee said, "I can't thank you guys enough for creating this podcast. Thank you very much." Your mom said nice things. Is
that a your mom joke?
No, I mean, no.
Okay.
I'm looking at it right now.
All right.
At least I think it's your mom. There's no picture. And the feedback generally across the board was very, very positive, and we were excited to talk to her, and I think I'm proud of the way it turned out. So
yeah, I think it was fantastic.
Otherwise, I do have a poll.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about a poll.
Yeah, the funny thing is, pretty substantial typo in this poll, and yet 24 votes. So people figured it out.
Overlook it.
I know. This just shows you shouldn't tweet at like 5 a.m. You should wait until you've had some coffee. But the question should have read, "Did you ever throw any wild parties in high school?" I typed, "Did you ever throw any wild parties in house school?"
I love house school. That was my favorite time of childhood.
House school rock? No. 24 total votes. 21% said yes. 79% said no. So a bunch of goodies.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I think somebody said no with like an ellipse. So.
Yeah, I think your brother.
Yeah.
So I think your family's all over this Twitter page. I tell you what, man. It's nice.
Yeah, and I
it
think
must be nice to get support.
And I think he's lying. So.
He's definitely.
How many
lying.
people lied during that poll?
I would say 100%.
Yeah.
Of the ones that said no. Also
even the ones who said yes.
Sitcom Writers Talk Shop link as well. The Paula Finn text we talked about last week, and some Dracula jokes as well. The Dracula thing, is that funny? I don't know.
I don't know. Do people favorite
say.
your tweets when you do Drac and the Habit and stuff?
I got 5 on the Dracula gif.
I mean, then I guess it resonates with some people.
Oh, good. A lawnmower's going by.
Well, the real thing that I'm concerned about is when you move, will there be lawnmowers around? I think not, because it's going to be like a neighborhood.
Someone's going to mow the lawn.
All right.
There's grass. George, as long as there's grass, there's going to be mowers.
I know, but it just seems like it'll be like a shorter...
It will be.
Yeah, so I just think it seems less likely that we're going to hear the lawnmower, which is sad.
I mean, mostly I'm moving for the podcast.
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right. Anything else? Good on social media?
We're good on social media. I didn't know if you wanted to talk about this review that's kind of stuck in your craw.
It's not stuck in my craw any more than any other negative review, but yeah, we have to address it.
So we called out for some reviews, and we got one. I think we got a couple, actually, but only one that was actually written out.
Okay. The other ones were good?
The other ones were, it looks like 5 stars to me.
As they should be.
As they should be, but this one wanted to go the other direction. This is the first time we've ever gotten a 1-star review, and I think we just want to talk about it.
Yeah, I want to break it down.
You want to break it down? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is titled Awful. Apt title, I guess, if you want to give a 1-star review.
Sure, yeah, makes sense.
The username is GoingApeSH!T.
What a coward.
I'm sure if you put that in there, it would spit it out and say you can't do that.
Yeah, I just mean, give your real name.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, so here's the review. Home Improvement is still my favorite show of all time.
Watch more contemporary TV. I'm going to respond to every part of it.
I was incredibly excited to learn that there was a podcast dedicated to this show.
There are several podcasts.
After about 30 minutes, I couldn't take any more.
Okay, I mean, that's not enough time to really get a reading, but...
to say that I was disappointed would be an understatement.
What would be a more accurate statement then?
I mean, that's what the review is for, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
If you were/are a fan of this show, don't bother with this garbage.
Garbage. Wow. Hey, to each their own. I don't know. I wonder what episode. If it's a pilot, like you said, via our text thread, maybe he's got something. But, hey, we do the best we can. And the good feedback generally outweighs the negative. So
yeah, I think there is a way for people to go on there and mark this review as not helpful.
I recommend everybody do that.
I'm going to report a concern. No.
Well, the SH exclamation point T is a little bit offensive to me, so I think I might have to get in there.
Yeah, get in there.
No, it's fine. It's fine. These things happen, but
You know what? We like that we've got people on both sides. If you aren't,
don't lie. No, we don't.
If you're not getting bad feedback, we don't look legit.
That means you've made it. Yeah. I would say to the person that wrote this, going ape sh exclamation point T, I'd say you're garbage.
Oh, a little bit of war of the words.
Yeah,
it sounds
he's not gonna listen. So
sounds like he or she will never hear it again.
I bet it's a guy, and I bet he's in a basement right now.
I did click on the username to see if there were any other reviews. There was one more review, and it was a 1-star.
Oh, so it's his thing
for a Facebook
Cereal.
app. It was the Facebook app. He had some issues with it with the iOS update, I think. So,
oh yeah, don't you hate that?
Yeah, it's a shame. So, with that, we'll move on. Try to get a little less salty here with the question of the week.
Fuming.
I can hear it in your voice. So, question of the week this week is from me.
Oh, great, man.
Yeah, usually the best questions of the week come from Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask about season tickets. You mentioned that your dad had season tickets for a little bit. I was wondering if you've had any other season tickets. To what were they to? And if you could have season tickets to anything.
Okay.
Who would you get tickets to?
Yeah, I've never had them because they're too expensive for me. But my dad had them for the Pistons for that year, and then he also had some Tiger season tickets one year where he got like 20 games, so we went down a bunch. But like I said, unless you're close, it's kind of inconvenient.
Right.
I guess if I were to have season tickets,
did you have any I was gonna say, did you have any in like college?
I mean, they were free.
Okay.
MAC football isn't Big Ten football, so they're not as sought after. But I mean, I don't really know that I'd want them. I think it's too big of a
commitment.
But I guess if I had to say, in a world where I lived right across from the stadium, I would probably go with baseball. I don't know.
You just love America's pastime.
Yeah, it's my favorite sport. I wouldn't want football and basketball. I don't know. I probably wouldn't want. I would say baseball. What about you?
Yeah, the only ones that I can think of were in, like I said, in college when I went to Michigan State, which I had them for a couple of years, which were very fun years. It was there was like a Hail Mary to end one of the games. There was
Michigan State's been in the news a lot this year. What was it for?
Oh, only good things. Only good things. So had that. If I could have any. I mean, I love basketball, so I would probably pick basketball. Sure. I don't know if I would pick the Pistons, though.
I know. I really wouldn't want Tigers season tickets right now either. They're bad.
Yeah. I just love basketball in general, so I feel like I could take almost any team and still have fun. Even the Magic games down here, they're not very good, but the games are still fun. So.
Yeah. I don't know. Are they going to be bad this year?
Oh, they're not going to be good.
Yeah, they're not good. What's your projected Piston win total this year?
Oh, I think they eke out a playoff spot, so probably either low 40s, something like that.
Give me 44 and 38.
44 and 38? That'd be a good season.
I don't think they're particularly good, but
they won the opener.
Yeah, they did against the Nets that are supposed to contend for the East, I heard.
They're for the championship?
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
They've got some dark horse playoff potential, but
sure. I think every team in the East does, don't you think?
Yeah, pretty much everyone, but I think the Magic. So
yeah, well, there you go. But yeah, good question, Jordan.
Thanks.
Sports talk.
I guess next week's episode we should talk about.
Yeah, what are we doing?
We're doing Room Without a View.
Oh, I remember that. I saw the synopsis. I remember this one.
Yeah, I don't know what this one's about. I didn't look at the synopsis, so I'll be surprised.
Let's just say we're going down to the basement. All right.
Oh.
Basement boys.
I bet you somebody's going to hit their head.
Thank you for listening. Jordan, thank you for joining me. Signing off from St. Charles. I guess I should say take care.
Take care, everybody.